My name's Colton. These are my cars. Plan on wrecking them.
Whose residence are we at?
Scott Scheid. He derbies too. He runs our hometown fair every year. He said I could throw a couple cars out here. Kind of got a little out of hand.
You got mostly Chevys or Chrysler products here?
I got a lot of Chevys, but I got a handful of Mopar like Y-framers. That's about all I get into really. I don't really get into the cushion bumper Chryslers. I just sell those. A couple 71s. This is a 71 Chevy. This is a 74. This one's a 72. It's mainly just 71 to 76 Chevy Impalas I get into pretty much. I run a few Buicks, you know, GM products.
And what's a Y-framer? What's that mean?
This is a Y-framer Mopar. It's just an older Chrysler, really. They're a little different than a cushion bumper. They got a little bit different front frames and stuff. I personally think they're tougher than a cushion bumper. These are a couple Y-framers. Got a few Imperials. 6, 7 of them. There isn't very many places you can run those these days. You gotta run them in like an outlaw class.
Where do you get most of these?
See, my dad had a bunch of them stockpiled before I even started derbying. And now I don't know, you can't really find them in very many places now. You gotta buy them from derbiers or people that want to get out of derbying. That's mainly what we've been doing. Here's just kind of like, these are my 80s and newers. I got a handful of those too. I just run Fords. This is a Red Lake cop car. That's an 03.
You prefer cop cars?
Yeah, cop cars are nice, but I think there isn't enough in the frames and difference in them to make that big of a difference, I don't think. These aren't even mine. These are Scott's.
So how many of these are yours and how many are your dad's?
Probably 50-50. He had quite a few of them before. The last couple years, I've been buying a few. Not so much the old stuff, but I bought a lot of 80s cars. Bought a few Chevy Impalas and stuff like that from people that are getting out of derbying. All these 80s or newers here used to be old irons, and I don't know. Just kind of, old irons are getting more expensive and harder to find, so we're kind of slowly switching over to these 80s cars, and that's what it's going to come down to sooner or later. There ain't going to be any old ones left.
You said there's about 40 cars here?
Yeah.
Do you have any other cars, or is this most of them?
This is most of them, but I do have a couple buddies that I got probably 10 cars at their house and another 10 at a different buddy's house.
You got mostly sedans or wagons here?
These are sedans. I got a few wagons, 3, 4. One Y-framer wagon. It's hard to find the wagons. They're getting hard to find. Sedans are still around. You got to pay almost $1,500 for a wagon these days.
$1,500 in for a car. How many runs do you get out of one?
I normally only get a couple. One good run at a pretty big show, there's a good chance you're going to wreck it in one run. But yeah, you can normally straighten them out. The rules around my area, you can pull the frames straight and plate them a little bit and run them, and you can kind of get your money's worth out of it, get a little bit more fun out of it. So I normally just run them twice. This is an old boxcar Imperial. Yeah, it's a Crown Coupe. It's an old car, but They're really hard to find. You don't see these very often. I don't know, I don't like to back up very often, so this is more of a backup car. These are new style Imperials where you go forward, you don't back up much.
How many Imperials do you have total?
Probably got 7 or 8 of them, and they're mainly new style Imperials where we just go forward with them all night. I'm sure I'll probably end up building one of these cars here for Heitman derbies next summer.
What are you gonna do with this beast?
That one I want to restore. I still want to restore it. Putting the 47 Chevy cab and box, but I'm putting it on a Blazer frame all lifted up. It's gonna be a big muddy truck. It's got a few spare front frames for Chevys and
So whose are these?
pretty much my dad bought them.
Are they all drivable?
Yeah, they're all drivers.
Does he drive them at all?
We do drive them once in a while, not as much as we probably should. This is a Buick, like a 75 Buick wagon. We have a pretty good year derbying wise. We put all of our money in a hat. And we just pick on what we want to buy, build a new motor, or
What's that?
No.
bunch of stage. Like this one here, the 73 Chevy Impala. We've had it the longest, and it's a really nice car. And it's starting to get rusty, you know, in some spots, but it's a Minnesota car. My buddy drove it at his wedding.
Until next time, stay away from the bank.